Welcome to the Stanford Lee Show. This week, do women rule the universe? So I discovered this song I wrote that I didn't understand it at the time. I think it was kind of a tribute to beauty, maybe a lazy attempt at being mysterious. Well, that's what I thought. And then I remembered the inspiration, so I just kind of wrote the song and really didn't understand it. And then realized how perfectly it tied in with some creation myths. I discovered that it was very much like some paintings that I had worked on, and I think I did a lot of research and mythology, and then just kind of all that kind of settled in my head, and then it came out in some weird way, in some weird twisted way in a song. So that's where our story begins, and you'll hear it in the song with the vocoding voice, the synthesized voice. I played my harp on the planet of 7 moons, and she liberates the planet of our dreams. I was kind of looking at the numbers and who this character was. It was actually from a Gnostic story about Sophia and the 7 archons and the demiurge. Well, that's kind of a lot to process, but let me go back to the beginning. So there's a lot of stories that kind of intertwine in religion. If you're reading the Talmud, the Old Testament, and looking at some early Christian mystery cults, some of the stories of our beginnings kind of talk about how God in the beginning fashioned the world, and there's some different ideas of who that was and how that kind of changed in the Bible. And anyway, think of Sophia as like this kind of mother figure. She's considered to have fallen from grace in some way, so she started to help in creating the material world. She actually somehow spawned into being a kind of god called the demiurge. And later Gnostics held that the demiurge was the great tyrant Labyrinth, the son of chaos.
What I like about the gods of the ancients is I could get a sense of their personalities through their stories, whereas this god has no personality. This god creates a lifeless world and has to steal a divine spark to get it going. We're this miracle. We're this lightning in a bottle. We do have a world that accommodates us. We have civilizations and leaders that are already in place. We don't have to make everything from scratch. It's already there. And not to get caught in the net of cynicism, I think what we need to look towards is those miracles that are out of the ordinary. I think that there is a goodness trying to reach out to us. I think there is something divine that's beyond this mundane existence.
First, Sophia makes the demiurge, and he's a maker god, as the Greeks call it. So he fashions things, and think of the universe as kind of his workshop. And well, he gets confined to Earth, and he starts fiddling with things. He makes something we know as man and woman, and he fails because he can't put the breath of life in it. It's just a kind of incomplete creation. So there's 2 versions of how he finds a way to bring life into it, since he can't do it himself. One is he steals an archon's power, thus being the souls that he actually steals. So the archons are, the 7 archons preside over planets and over different realms. And there's like archons that kind of rule in the world, and still, by some legends, may actually rule today, certain principalities, or angels if you want to call them. The other story is really interesting, how this male power, the demiurge, tries to steal the feminine divine. He actually takes Sophia's reflection and finds a way to extract her power, and that becomes everything. So that becomes like energy infinite. It becomes like this cycle of life that it doesn't increase or decrease. It actually is just this kind of, energy of souls that come to and forth in this material realm. So yeah, it's kind of deep. If you follow me here, though, but it's like he had to actually steal the spark of life in order to make his creation possible. In that way, he was like a lesser god and not a true God over all things. It's kind of a story that I think ties into some ideas today and postmodern thoughts about a kind of simulated reality, or I guess a world we live in as kind of a prison. But what I like is kind of the complexity of this wrapped in the idea of redemption, and that was what I was trying to come to in the song. Because I think that looking at everything as, the fault of our own sins or Satan, which I agree it is, but you look at it as also a world that, how do you explain, how it got this way? And these are all stories. They're just kind of like reflections on the wall of a cave, but it kind of gives us a clue that maybe the world isn't perfect, and maybe someday it will be through our redemption and a Messiah. So it's really interesting, and it just kind of fueled my my passion for writing songs. And this was a throwaway song. It was one I thought that hey, I'm just kind of writing rubbish, and then I kind of liked it later. It just was compelling because at least I knew the inspiration, where it had come from. Anyway, I'd like to perform a little bit of this song, Cosmic. Hey, like and subscribe. It really helps our channel. And while you're there, check out some content and, enjoy. And I'll see you next time on the Stanford Lee Show.